Aha! Now that I got you, you're gonna have to watch the whole thing. What's going on, everybody? Honest here, and we're doing a little bit of an update of a video I made about 3 months ago, and that's gonna be shown right over there. Basically talking about my concerns for Krunker. It's actually kind of what started everything for me in the category, and got me verified, and got me on the free spin. I mean, you know, it really was the Kickstarter to my stream. And I think there's more to talk about, kind of a time to look back and discuss the updates of what has happened, what has been improved, maybe what still needs to be improved, and over the past 3 months, what I've come to see as additional sources of pain for the community and what can be improved further. So I have been having additional concerns about Krunker lately, and the majority of them stem from the expectations that were set versus what we have seen actually released. And I will be talking about that in a little bit, but something that I wanted to try, a little excitement for you guys, is I've hidden 4 Easter eggs in this video. They will have, in certain areas of the screen, a number. Now, the first person that can find all 4 Easter eggs and put them in the comments with the timestamps and the number, I will give 1,000 KR2. So good luck, everybody, on that. But besides that, let's go ahead and take a look at the previous concerns I raised in my past video versus what's it looking like now. As we're talking about recent changes, the most noticeable one for my gameplay as primarily a pug player are the throwing knives that have been introduced, which one hit you at any point in the body. Now, the issue of throwing knives has been addressed. Now, has it been addressed correctly? Maybe, maybe not. When I think back on it, though, what I realize is that throwing knives are indicative of a larger problem, and that's people that aren't able to kill other players through normal means, desperately trying to have a way to stop people's streaks. My concern is that they have to get in that situation in the first place, and they aren't giving the opportunity to improve against players of similar skill. Now, how do we address that? I say that comes from a better ranked experience, okay? We were set to have some ranked changes, but we haven't seen them. And I think that by having a ranked system that people want to play in, that is legitimate, where we don't see hackers, and it has actual rewards and possibly even seasons for people to enter into, we're going to see that player base that is going just for nukes right now transitioning into going into more of a skill-based system, which is what I think they all want to see anyways. They don't want to just compare KDRs and nukes. They actually want something tangible. If that's done, players will be fighting more with weapons and less with knives, just trying to stop a player and maybe going 1 for 10. Now, why do I think this is the case? I ran a free-for-all tournament a little while back, a few days ago at this point, and what I noticed was when I broke the tournament brackets into kill-death ratio groups, the lower KDR groups use their AKs just as much as the higher KDR groups. In fact, I barely saw any throwing knives in any bracket of the tournament. That goes to show that people are naturally going to go for what does the best in a situation. If they're not able to possibly beat another player, they're going to take out a throwing knife to at least get 1 kill on that player. If not, they're going for what's going to get them the most kills, which is going to be the average weapons. Now, my second concern was a little smaller in the grand scheme of things. It was just based off of FPS Based Location. The next issue would be FPS Based Location. So, have you ever noticed how some Krunker players will be floating in the air, chug around, or seem to have less gravity than you? When designing a multiplayer game, it's important to have players' movement tied to a constant. In simpler terms, it would mean that your movement should not be based off of what you see as a player. It should be based off of the world and apply to everybody equally. Now, short and sweet, this hasn't been addressed. It was said earlier in the patch notes by Sidney that this would be changed shortly, but we haven't seen any changes to this. And the overall issue is not even really based to pubs anymore. The more that I've streamed, the more I've played customs. I see players glitching in customs all the time to stop any type of custom. They will freeze themselves in the air at the beginning of battle royales. They will pause themselves in mid-air by alt-tabbing. It goes way beyond just pubs. And this is something that you definitely don't want to see as you're going into a Steam release, or maybe even trying to sell the game, because it's really something that is an unpolished feature. My third concern, though, was with the business model of Krunker. The only way to spend money on the game currently is to purchase KR, which is used for purchasing items outright from other players, opening crates, and purchasing Krunker Premium, which gives certain benefits to users that enroll. Now, this business model really hasn't changed. It still is based off of spins, and that is the main drawing point to the game making more money. Now, they are paying out money to map creators, they are paying out money to content creators, and they're giving money in the form of gifted subs and bits and these things on streams. That goes to show that I believe they do have quite a bit of money to burn, and I'm sure their business model is doing fine. That being said, I think as with any system, you can still further improve it. And my feeling, my opinion, is that going away from the spinning business model ultimately is going to yield more for the game and improve the game's image if there were to ever be another company entity that's looking to take the game over, or if they were to ever get in trouble with some type of legislation, because it is akin to gambling or loot boxes that we've seen come into other games as of late. Now, what would I suggest for this type of business model? I would recommend either some type of cash shop for cosmetics, possibly not tradable cosmetics. A battle pass might be interesting because people are then enticed to play more, which we see people getting their items and not really playing a whole lot. Or, different titles, different cosmetics for profiles, all these types of things to bring in revenue. I think the game really does have a lot of areas to expand upon. And hey, if you don't want to get rid of spins, you don't have to, but I think these other avenues are also very good ways to generate money for the game. Ultimately, my biggest issue with the spins is that the house is set to win. And that means that people buy money, they spin, and on average, the vast majority of people are not going to get anything of value or anything even close to the amount that they spent. That creates a bad experience for the player. And that's not what you want when somebody spends money on your game. You want to have people happy, you want to have people feeling good about their purchases, and you want them to go and show their friends how much it was worth it to spend that money. You can't get that with spins. My fourth concern was with survival mode. There's been confirmation recently that the survival mode is coming to Krunker. I have to be completely honest. When I say in my mind, it is absolutely not the correct direction for the game. Hey, survival mode is clearly going to be a thing now. Now, I still don't think it's the right move for the game. I still think a battle royale being the focus would be much more interesting because it offers something new to the genre, whereas it may not offer something new to the genre with having things out there like Rust and Minecraft. Now, what can we do with this coming to the game? I think introducing mounts, introducing different types of items or tools that aren't in Rust or Minecraft would be the right direction for the game, because you have to make yourself stand out somehow. Otherwise, ultimately, it's going to fail. Now, the final concerns on my own. I've definitely gotten to understand the game and the player base a lot more since the last 3 months have passed. And I have a couple of concerns about the overall health of the game. So, the main thing right now is the lack of communication to the general player base. Yes, content creators may have a leg up on what is coming and what type of patches we can expect to see. But the overall player base has no idea what's causing a delay, what's happening with the game, where the devs are, what the plans are going forward. I think that you could easily solve this with some type of roadmap with concrete dates, and if you can't meet those dates, you set out a public message of why that is. Hey, I think that'd be enough. Just a little heads up to the players, because now it's been multiple months since we've expected some of these things without a single concrete change besides Season 4 items. Now, this does concern me because I have a skin in the game, right? As you guys know, I left my full-time job to stream, and I only stream Krunker. So what I would like to see is players staying with the game and new players coming in. So yes, I would like the Steam release. I would like survival mode. These things would be good for the game, which would be good for me, good for the community. But I've personally seen more players than ever sending me all their items, saying, hey, I'm quitting the game. And yes, the items are nice, but I don't want those players to leave. I want them to stick around. So ultimately, I know Krunker has a ton of potential. I still believe in the game. I still believe in the devs. I think they're all great people. I think you guys are great people. But I think as far as the team goes for Krunker, they need to expand and they need to compartmentalize. Now, this part might get a little bit businessy for you, but prepare yourself and hear me out. I think the developers are great at developing the game. I think that's what they love to do. I think that's what they want to keep on doing. But I think the game has grown too big for just the developers. I think they need to expand their team and bring on a COO, which is a chief of operations, somebody that is going to take part and plan out, these are the people coming onto the staff, this is how we're going to handle payroll, this is how we're going to make the teams deal with each problem, and maybe even these are the new teams we need to create. Maybe they create an outreach team that is looking to reach out to content creators for other games or reach out to sponsors and things like this. But I don't think the developers should be doing everything, and I don't think anybody expects them to do everything. But when you get into that mindset of everything has to be done in-house, we can't bring all that many new people in, you're really slowing down the production of the game. And when that happens, people start to move away from the game. So, those were overall my concerns. I do believe in the game. I want to keep making content for the game, but I think something has to be said because it's what's on a lot of content creators' minds. A lot of people in my chat have been coming through and saying similar things. And I think we all want what's best because we all love Krunker. What do you guys think? Did you find the Easter eggs? If not, I'm sorry. Look back through. Good luck. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate it. Helps out the channel. It's completely free to you. But if not, I understand. But subscribe!